Good morning, students. I welcome you all in this session. Today we are going to discuss the 14 principles of management as propounded by Henry Fayol. In the previous video, I will tell about the two eminent authors, Henry Fayol and Frederick Winslow Taylor. Henry Fayol was known as the father of general principles of management to students, and F.W. Taylor was known as the father of scientific management principles and scientific management techniques. Right, students? The principles of Henry Fayol are flexible, but the principle of Frederick Winslow Taylor is rigid. Right, students? These are the rigid principles. Now, let's discuss one by one the 14 principles of management as propounded by Henry Fayol, as this is supposed to be the very important topic for your board exams, students. Right, students? So let's discuss the very first principle is division of work. वर्क को बेटा छोटे छोटे पार्ट्स पे डिवाइड करना, क्योंकि एक एम्प्लॉय अकेले सारा काम नहीं कर सकता. The work are to be divided and subdivided into different tasks because the entire work should not be completed only by one person. From whole work, one task is given to one person as per his qualification, capabilities and experience, and the another work to another task to another person, and the another task to another person. Like students, I gave you an example of a bank in my previous video. Right, students? In a bank, when you enter in a bank, there are different sections. बेटा कैश का सेक्शन, कैश डिपॉजिट का सेक्शन अलग है, कैश गिविंग का सेक्शन अलग काउंटर है स्टूडेंट्स, एफडी फिक्स डिपॉजिट का एक अलग काउंटर है, ओपनिंग का बैंक अकाउंट का एक अलग काउंटर है. राइट स्टूडेंट्स? तो इसी तरीके से बेटा कंपनी के अंदर भी देर आर डिफरेंट डिपार्टमेंट्स फॉर द सेपरेट वर्किंग ऑफ एक्शन. सो whenever this principle is applicable in a company, what are the effects? Right, students? So there are two effects, two positive effects. Leads to specialization, right, students, and it simplifies the work and increases the efficiency of employees. Right, students? If the entire work has to be divided into different parts, so it leads to specialization and it simplifies the work and increases the efficiency of the employees. Right, students? I hope the very first principle is clear to you, students. Division of work. अगर ये प्रिंसिपल कंपनी में नहीं लगेगा तो क्या होगा बेटा? पॉजिटिव इफेक्ट का आप उल्टा कर देंगे. राइट? Does not lead to specialization and the employee's efficiency will suffer. It decreases the employee's efficiency and lack of specialization is there. Right, students? So come to the next principle, authority and responsibility. Authority means power and responsibility means duty. There must be priority between authority and responsibility. Authority and responsibility goes hand in hand. Right, students? Let's take an example. If an employee has the responsibility of doing 50 units per day, has responsibility of making for 50 units per day, and he is not giving a necessary authority to use tools, equipments from the production department or to use raw material from the production department, then he is not at all responsible. Right, students? क्योंकि उस वर्कर को अथॉरिटी ही नहीं दी गई है, तो he is not responsible for not doing the work to be blamed. Right? So अथॉरिटी दी जाती है, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी बन जाती है और अकाउंटेबिलिटी वापस ली जाती है. अथॉरिटी इज डेलीगेटेड, responsibility is created and accountability is imposed. Authority flows downwards, whereas responsibility and accountability flows upwards. Right, students? Authority is delegated, responsibility is created and accountability is imposed. Right, students? So there must be parity between authority and responsibility. A person is responsible or accountable for his work if you give the necessary authority. Right, students? Superior gives his authority to subordinates, and it is the responsibility or duty of a subordinates to do a work on time and with minimum cost. These principles of Henry Fayol suggest that. What are the positive effects of this principle whenever it is applicable in a company? No misuse of authority. Helps in performing duties on time without any delay. Right, students? No misuse of authority and helps in performing duties on time without any delay. Right, students? Negative effect क्या होगा? इसका उल्टा कर दीजिएगा. Right, students? Misuse of authority due to excess authority. Right? And the workers are not performing the work on time. Discipline. Smooth running of a business require discipline. This is supposed to be the third principle of propounded by Henry Fayol. Right? There must be judicious application of penalties, healthy relation between management and workers. Right? Discipline means rights, responsibilities and duties has to be performed in a righteous way by all the persons working in the organization, whether they are the superior or whether they are the subordinates. Right, students? Discipline means self-discipline in the organization. Let's take an example, beta. There is one manager and the office timing is 10 to 5, morning 10 and evening 5. So manager has to come at 9:45 or 9:50 in the morning and stays back after 5. राइट स्टूडेंट्स, तो उसके अंदर में जो भी सबॉर्डिनेट्स काम कर रहे हैं उनकी बेटा इतनी पावर नहीं होगी कि वो मैनेजर के आने के बाद आए और मैनेजर के जाने से पहले चले जाए विदाउट हिज और हर परमिशन. सो दिस शोज डिसिप्लिन इन ऑल द लेवल्स ऑफ मैनेजमेंट. सेल्फ डिसिप्लिन होना चाहिए. राइट स्टूडेंट्स, सो स्मूथ रनिंग ऑफ अ बिजनेस रिक्वायर डिसिप्लिन, एंड इफ डिसिप्लिन इज to be break by any supervisor or superior or subordinate, judicious application of penalties must be there. Right? Whenever this principle is applicable, so what are the positive points in the organization? Smooth and systematic functioning of the business, better relation between management and workers. Right, students? When there is a discipline in the organization, there must be smooth and systematic working and better relations between management and workers. If there is no discipline, then the smooth and systematic functioning is not there, lack of coordination is there, and relationship has go in vain between management and workers. Right, students? And there must be conflict between management and workers. These are the negative points or violation or consequences of the principles of discipline. I hope third discipline is very much clear to you. Now come to the fourth one, unity of command. Right, students? Unity of command principle ये कहता है बेटा, there must be one superior and one boss to one subordinate. Right, students? Unity of direction, unity of command principle ये कहता है बेटा कि एक superior के नीचे काम करने वाला एक ही subordinate होना चाहिए. Right, students? So there must be unity of command. अगर एक सबॉर्डिनेट के ऊपर दो सुपीरियर होंगे तो यहां पर एक सबॉर्डिनेट कंफ्यूज हो जाएगा कि मैं किसका काम पहले करूं. राइट स्टूडेंट्स, फॉर एग्जांपल सेल्स मैनेजर, लेट्स टेक एन एग्जांपल, सुपीरियर 1 इज अ सेल्स मैनेजर एंड सुपीरियर 2 इज अ प्रोडक्शन मैनेजर. सेल्स मैनेजर आस्क द सेम सबॉर्डिनेट्स टू डू अ फास्ट प्रोडक्शन एंड superior to that is a production manager instructs the same subordinates to go slow in production process. अब यहां पे सबॉर्डिनेट कंफ्यूज हो जाएगा कि मैं किसकी बात पहले मानूं. राइट स्टूडेंट्स, एक सुपीरियर के नीचे बेटा जी कई सारे सबॉर्डिनेट्स हो सकते हैं, बट कमांड देने वाला एक ही सुपीरियर होना चाहिए. दिस इज व्हाट, दिस इज यूनिटी ऑफ कमांड. यहाँ पे सुपीरियर एक है, सबॉर्डिनेट एक है, कमांड देने वाला एक ही है. राइट स्टूडेंट्स, देयर मस्ट बी 2 सुपीरियर एट 1 सबॉर्डिनेट्स. This is lack of unity of command. This shows unity of command. This shows multiplicity of command. Right, students? So, unity of command. There must be one superior, right, students, and one superior give orders to several subordinates. But there should not be 2 superior for a 1 subordinate. Right, students? So, unity of command. What are the positive effects? No confusion in the mind of employees. When there is only one superior and one subordinate, there must not be any confusion in the mind of employees. Better performance from subordinates. There must be better performance from subordinates. I hope unity of command principle is clear to you. Right, students? Come to unity of direction. This is supposed to be the 5th principles propounded by Henry Fayol. What do you mean by the term unity of direction? One head, one plan, one direction. One head, one plan, one direction. There must be separate plan of action for each department. Right, students? Suppose our company is manufacturing 2 things, cosmetics and medicines. So cosmetics का different department होगा, medicines का different department होगा. There must be separate plan of action for each department. Right, students? This is known as unity of direction. One head, one plan, one direction. Let's understood this principle with the help of direction. This is supposed to be the direction diagram. Right, students? All the employees are working towards a common direction, that is company's goal. Right, students? All top level management, middle level management, lower level management, all the workers and all the managers and all the employees are working under same direction, that is company's goal, company's profit, company's prosperity. And this diagram shows all the workers, management are working in different directions. So this diagram shows presence of unity of direction. This diagram shows lack of unity of direction. This diagram shows presence of unity of direction. This diagram shows lack of unity of directions. Right, students? This principle is based on coordination. Right? What are the positive points? When this principle is applicable, तो इसका positive effect क्या होगा? Achievement of organizational goals facilitates coordination. Right, students? And this principle leads to coordination. Right, students? So one head, one plan, one direction. I hope all the 5 principles are very much clear to you. Now come to 6th one, subordination of individual interest to general interest. Right, students? So under this principle, the employees of all the organization should work towards the common interest, and the common interest is company's prosperity, company's goal, company's target, and company's profit. Let's take an example. If a company is going for a financial crisis, right, students, and their employees or subordinates, they were asking to raise the salary. So यहाँ पर क्या होगा बेटा जी, यहाँ पर इंटरेस्ट क्लैश हो गया, सुपीरियर का इंटरेस्ट, मैनेजमेंट का इंटरेस्ट अलग हो गया और सबऑर्डिनेट्स का इंटरेस्ट अलग हो गया. सो सबऑर्डिनेशन ऑफ इंडिविजुअल इंटरेस्ट टू जनरल इंटरेस्ट. जो एम्प्लॉइज हैं, जो सबऑर्डिनेट्स हैं, उनको अपने बारे में नहीं, कंपनी के बारे में पहले सोचना चाहिए. राइट स्टूडेंट्स? कंपनीज गोल, कंपनीज इंटरेस्ट शुड बी रिगार्डेड एज सुप्रीम मोस्ट. एक कंपनी फाइनेंशियल लॉस में जा रही है और एम्प्लॉयज डिमांड कर रहे हैं ज्यादा वेजेस और सैलरीज, ये गलत है. पहले कंपनी को प्रॉफिटेबल पोजीशन पे पहुंचाएं और तब डिमांड करें ज्यादा वेजेस और salaries. Right, students? So what are the positive effects whenever this principle is applicable in the organization? Achievement of organizational goals, coordination between individual interest and organizational interest. There must be coordination between individual interest and organizational interest. I hope the 6th principle is very much clear to you. Now 7th principle, remuneration of employees. Remuneration का मतलब होता है wages and salaries. Right, students? So according to this principle, the employees' wages and salaries should be fixed as per the qualification, capabilities and experience of the subordinates. Let's take an example. Entire profit should not be go to the management. It should not be distributed to the management in the form of surplus. Right, students? But the major part of that profit has to be distributed to the employees in the form of bonus also. Right, students? This shows remuneration of employees. एक वर्कर कंपनी के अंदर किस लिए काम करता है? एक वर्कर कंपनी के अंदर अपनी सर्विस देता है पैसा कमाने के लिए. राइट स्टूडेंट्स? अगर उसको पैसा ठीक टाइम पर नहीं मिलेगा, द वर्कर्स बिकम डिसलॉयल. दे मे नॉट बी एबल टू कंप्लीट द टास्क ऑन टाइम. दे मे नॉट बी एबल टू वर्क प्रॉपरली. There must be chaos between management and workers. So remuneration of employees, the employee's salary must be just and equitable as per the qualification, need and experience. Right, students? The entire profit should not go to the management, but it has to be distributed in the form of bonus salaries to the employees. Right? Company चाहती है maximum production, workers चाहते हैं maximum salary. By producing more, the workers can earn more. Because every company must know that workers are the base for any business. There must be a priority between management and workers. Many other conditions has to be provided by the management to the workers, to their employees. Besides wages and salaries. Healthy working conditions, insurance is there. Right, students? And many other facilities are also provided to employees by the management, by the company. So this principle is, what are the positive effect of this principle whenever this principle is applicable in the company? Smooth working of the company, ensure good relation between management and workers. There must be an ensure smooth working of the company and good relation between management and workers. If the principle is not followed, if remuneration of employees principle is violation, what are their consequences? If smooth working of the companies is not there, and unhealthy relation between management and workers or management and employees. I hope 7th principle is clear to you. Now come to 8th principle, centralization and decentralization. Centralization means power remains to top level management. Decentralization means power has to be distributed in all the levels of management. When there are small organizations or small companies, centralization may be applied because number of employees, number of managers are less. एक एम्प्लॉय या एक डिपार्टमेंट अकेले सारा काम संभाल सकता है, बट व्हेन वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द लार्ज ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, द एंटायर वर्क शुड नॉट बी able to carry own by the single management or by the single department or by the single person. The work are to be divided and subdivided between different levels of management, that is known as top level management, middle level management and lower level management. So this is what decentralization. Right students, so centralization power remains with top level management and decentralization power has to be distributed in all the levels of management. Centralization बेटा छोटी कंपनी में होगा, decentralization बड़ी कंपनी में होगा. Right students, so what are the positive points of this principle? Better and quick decision, fast decision to lower level and strict control by top level management. So there must be better and quick decision, fast decision to lower level and strict control by top level management is there. I hope centralization and decentralization principle is also clear to you. Right students, now come to scalar chain. It is supposed to be the most important principles among all the 14 principles of management. Right students, scalar chain. Just there are two diagrams. The very first is scalar chain and gangplank. Gangplank is also a part of scalar chain. The very first we have to understood what we mean by the term scalar chain. Scalar chain shows chain of command as well as chain of communication from superior to subordinates. Right students, let's take an example. If D has to communicate with R. Right students, तो किस तरीके से D communicate करेगा R को? D has to take permission from C, then B, then A, then P, then Q, then R. This is the path. This is the communication channel in which scalar chain D has to follow to meet R. Similarly, if R wants to meet to D with some official work, then R goes to Q, P, then A, then B, then C, then D. This is supposed to be the official line of command that comes under scalar chain. I hope this is very much clear to you. Right students, this is what scalar chain. Scalar chain serves as the principle of chain of command as well as chain of communication. There is a certain path. An employee has to follow a certain chain, a certain path, a certain pattern of communication to communicate with each other. Now what do you mean by the term gangplank? Gangplank is a part of scalar chain. Right students, gangplank allows two individuals at the same level to communicate directly with each other without asking their superior. Gangplank allows two individuals at the same level to communicate directly with each other without asking their superior in case of emergency. Let's discuss this with the help of diagram. If D wants to communicate with R, of course D can communicate with R directly. No pattern has to be followed in case of emergency. This is what gangplank. If R has to communicate with D in case of emergency, no problem. R has to communicate with D in case of emergency through gangplank. No official line has to be followed. But in case of emergency, if D has to communicate with R, communication has done in case of emergency, then D has to inform to his superior. Then I follow the gangplank. Because emergency is there, therefore I didn't take your permission and I have to meet to R. Similarly, if R has to meet to D in case of emergency, right, after the work has been done, then R has to report to his superior Q that in case of emergency I have to meet to D because there are certain work has to be done as early as possible. So this is what gangplank. Gangplank allows two individuals at the same level to communicate directly with each other without asking their superior. But of course, after the work has done, after the emergency is over, the employees has to communicate to their superior. Right students, I hope scalar chain is clear to you. Now come to the next principle. Next principle is order. A place for everything and everything in its place. A place for everyone and everyone in its right place. I repeat, a place for everything and everything in its place. A place for everyone and everyone in its right place. There are two orders, one is material order and the one is social order. Material order students ये कहता है a place for everything and everything in its right place. For example, there is a finance file. अकाउंटेंसी की कोई फाइल अगर आपको देखनी किसी भी कंपनी के अंदर तो कहाँ मिलेगा आपको? फाइनेंस डिपार्टमेंट में. यू हैव टू चेक द डेटा ऑफ sales, related sales. What were the sales of last month? Then you have to go to sales department to check the sales of the last month, right? So this is what material order. The another one is social order, a place for everyone and everyone in its right place. If you have to meet to sales manager, then in which department sales manager is there? Of course, sales department. If you have to contact to finance manager, in which department finance manager is there? Finance manager is there in his or her respective finance department. If you have to meet the production manager of a company, then production manager आपको कहाँ मिलेगा? Production department. So this is supposed to be order. A place for everything and everything in its place. A place for everyone and everyone in its right place. So what are the positive effects? Positive effect is smooth and systematic working in the organization. No wastage of time. No wastage of time in search of man and material. Right, students? So this is supposed to be the positive point. Smooth and systematic working in the organization. No wastage of time in search of man and material. I hope this principle is very much clear to you. Now come to the next principle. Next principle is equity. Treated equally, no partiality. There must be equal treatment to all. Right, students? A company should not be partial to a particular worker or to a particular manager or to a particular employee. There must be equal treatment in all the in the organization in all the employees. Right, students? Equity. Let's take an example, students. Suppose there are two workers, right? And each worker has to give a task of producing 100 goods. Right, students? First employee has produced 100 goods and second employee has produced only 80 goods. So manager ने अपने A employee को जिसने 100 goods बनाए थे उसको 100 के हिसाब से पैसे दे दिए और जो B employee था जिसने 80 goods बनाए थे उसे भी 100 के हिसाब से पैसे देती है. Now this is partiality. B ने जितने goods बनाए थे he has to give the wages according to that. उसने 80 goods बनाए थे तो 80 goods के हिसाब से उसे पैसे मिलने चाहिए. This is partiality. This is not equity. Right, students? So what are the positive point? Kind, fair and just treatment. Right, students? In equity, there must be kind, fair and just treatment, though no worker should be, right, students? No worker should be unduly favored or unduly punished. No worker should be unduly favored or unduly punished. What are the positive effects? Healthy relation between employees and employers. Employees get satisfied. Right, students? Healthy relations between employees and employers gets satisfied. I hope all the 11 principles are very much clear to you. If you find any difficulty, you can ask me anytime, students.